Hey guys, it's Matt here, and today I'm doing another episode of Matt Rants. So, as you guys can tell, we're jumping back to video game footage just for a little bit, because there is so much news that we have to cover that I think this is the best way to do it as of this time, and a lot of stuff to cover post E3, and we're going to start off something that's actually a little pre-E3, around the same time, because it does tie into Nintendo a bit, so I didn't want to just jump to Nintendo without covering some Pokemon stuff, and Nintendo videos and other videos about E3 will be spread out throughout the whole weekend. So, talking about the Pokemon Direct that actually happened June 5th, 2019, my god, there's a lot to break down here. Going to try to be fast with it. Not going to take up too much of your time. Just going to do my reactions alongside them. So, Galar is gorgeous. This entire region looks so beautiful. And I know that the Switch also works as a handheld, but man, does it feel good. And it's so odd in a way to have to actually have a mainline game that isn't Pokemon Go, Let's Go Pikachu, and Let's Go Eevee. Nothing wrong with those, but of course that was a Kanto remake. So having something new and fresh with this region and having it look so amazing. So we'll get to some other stuff about the region, some other interesting things that I saw, but right now I want to talk about some new Pokemon. So first of all, Wooloo is my best friend. You might think he's your best friend. I will fight you at this. Okay, so I can't give an address too close to my house. I live in Queens though. I will fight you. Things will go down if you try to go against me when it comes to Wooloo. Wooloo is my best friend. To you, simply an afterthought. God, I love Wooloo. Gossifleur also, Gossifleur is my new houseplant. So my grandmother, my abuelita, many houseplants in this house. One of them is probably a Gossifleur. I never knew about it. Eldegoss, which is actually Gossifleur's evolution, who I want to say just by looking at it, already starting up my allergies. Dreadnought looks like it could legit murder me if I catch it without having enough badges. You know, earlier games, they was like, oh, hey, sorry, you can't really tame this Pokemon. In this game, I think he will actually murder me. It's like a Nuzlocke run, but of you, personally, as the character. And then there's Corviknight. I love Corviknight so much. My new death metal taxi service. I don't know if you can catch one in the wild, so being serious here, not sure if you could catch one in the wild. I really hope that you can, even though I know that, you know, it's meant to be a glorified taxi. And also some people are making jokes online that Corviknight looks like the outline of different characters in older games when they actually come into fly. Not the original games that kind of look like this Pidgey sprite. Some of the, I think it was Emerald, the Gen 3 really, had a character that kind of looked like Corviknight, so that's kind of funny. So those are all the new Pokemon we learned by name. Now, I do want to talk about something that Pokemon can do, apparently now. They can do something called Dynamaxing, which, if you're looking for a layman's term version of it, it's basically a Kaiju-gasm. Now, if you're looking for a layman's term of Kaiju, it's a monster-gasm, basically. It is just monster-tastic galore. If you're a fan of Godzilla, hope you like this. If you're not a fan of Godzilla, how dare you turn your back against our Lord and Savior. Now, talking about Dynamaxing though, so here's the thing, right? Aesthetically, I love it, as you guys can clearly tell. But I do think that, at least storyline-wise, I'm a bit concerned and kind of wondering why they can Dynamax, and if that's going to make sense, and why is it happening in this region and not any other regions, and also, funnily enough, why it's not happening in a more Japanese region. So you would think that, you know, the developers would have put it, if they could have, in Kanto or in Johto, but it's kind of funny that it's happening here in Galar. But either way though, I do think that, again, looks beautiful, and I can't wait to see how it's utilized in the game gameplay wise. But when it comes to the actual storyline reasons, I don't really see where that can go or why it's happening. I mean, some people have told me, I haven't really played a bunch of Pokemon X or Y, but some did tell me, hey, Matt, look, you know, when Mega Evolutions came in, there really wasn't some huge, giant, oh, this makes sense, this clicks explanation for that, so shut up. And I looked at Tristan, my best friend, and I said, Tristan, how dare you tell me this? He didn't tell me to shut up, but he did tell me, hey, Matt, there really was no explanation. And you guys, if you're long-term fans of the channel, you've seen Tristan before. So, yeah, he didn't tell me to shut up. But I will push the narrative because he's not really here to go against it. So he told me to shut up and then he hit me and it was terrible. Anyway, I love him so much. I love you. If he's listening to this, I'm so sorry. I love you. But back on track, when it comes to Dynamaxing, I think that especially for those who have been in Pokemon for so long, very much like our very own Satish Ram, who is really, really good at Pokemon. Like, you might think you're good at Pokemon, but unless you're tournament level, he can probably kick your butt at Pokemon. However, this is going to add in some type of ripple that I can't wait to see how he deals with and how a lot of other of you guys deal with in the tournament scene. So if you're in the tournament scene, please comment down below with what you've seen so far and what your strategies might be with Dynamaxing, because that'll be very interesting, I think, to see in the future. And, you know, speaking of Dynamaxing, this actually brings me to the next point of news. We have max raid battles. So this is such a really cool multiplayer option. So basically you can team up with 4 friends and take on one Dynamaxed Pokemon. So of course with Dynamaxing, I should have mentioned earlier, not only do their sizes increase, as you can just tell by looking at it, but their stats increase as well. But you can only Dynamax once per battle. Now of course this Pokemon in this multiplayer mode in Max Raid Battle is Dynamaxed for the entire battle. So you can actually do that, by the way, local co-op and also online co-op. So you can do this with your friends, couch co-op style, or of course at local wireless. And you can also go online and find your friends there. And of course random strangers as well, if you will. But a lot of this requires, in my opinion, very good coordination that I assume they will probably have a tie-in with the Nintendo app, the one that allows you to do voice chat. But obviously couch co-op, I'm sure I'll look over to my friend Tristan and be like, step up your game, son. And I'm why would I do that to Tristan? But I would look at some of my other friends who haven't been on the channel, so I'm not going to name them. And I would definitely tell them to step up their game because they will be saying the same to me. Either way, though, when it comes to Max Raid Battle, again, so interesting, so unique. I'm not saying that other games haven't done something similar, of course, when it comes to, you know, working together with your friends, fight a giant enemy. Many Final Fantasy dungeons, especially Final Fantasy XIV Online, obviously, you know, does have that component to it. But I think having it come to the world of Pokemon and adding this new twist and this new wrinkle is very interesting, especially because it's the Pokemon fighting, not you. So you're not necessarily running around trying to not get hit, trying to get the Bard in there, trying to get the healer to heal people. No, it's more so you teaming up with your friends to try and take on this giant enemy. So anyway, so moving on to some new peeps. That's what I wrote in here. I don't know what time of the night I wrote that. New peeps, new people that we're meeting in the Galar region. So we have Leon, who's actually the Galos region champion. And I want to note, which happens in every game, but I want to definitely note this here as well. As a 10-year-old, I will destroy him. So remember, in the game, your 10-year-old character, I will destroy this man. I will ruin his entire career. Look at how amazing he looks, right? He looks like he's at the top of his game, like he has all of the sponsorships. Maybe in this game they'll have Pokemon betting, and you know the betting, the actual companies will be branded on him. You know, I'm just saying that he definitely looks like he has a lot to lose. And here comes me. So here I am. And now Leon's younger brother, who's actually named Hop, we get to see him as well. And I want to note, again, just, you know, keeping up this momentum. First, we battle the boy. And then the champion will bow. Yeah, so it seems as if he's going to be our rival throughout the game. I think that's actually really cool. I'm pretty sure that other games, please correct me if I'm wrong, other games have had similar ties like this. I could swear Diamond and Pearl had a similar tie with one of your rivals to someone who was either a gym leader or who was a champion of some type in the Elite Four or some other version of that. I know that in Gen 3, I could swear that your dad was the gym leader of the 4th gym. Am I correct? Again, please comment down below. It's been a while since I played Gen 3. Probably should bust that one out again. Not my favorite gen, but man, is that one grown on me. Although grown on me even more was Gen 4, but that's a whole nother discussion. So, moving on to someone else, 2 people that we're actually meeting. We're meeting Professor Magnolia, which, God, that's just such a beautiful name. I know they're just going for different types of trees, but I just love that it's just... Because I don't know, something with oak. Oak just doesn't sound like a tree to me as a kid. I was like, yeah, oak, okay, fine. And then birch, and I was like, Interesting. And then Elm, and I was like, wait a minute. Uh, but in this case, we have Magnolia and her assistant, Sonia. And looking at these two, I'm really excited with their, first of all, that we have an assistant who's so prominent. I'm not saying that this has never happened, but when my brain immediately goes back to Gen 1 with all of the aides who were just literally one-line NPCs. So the fact that we actually have an assistant that's going to be talking to you throughout the game, probably going to be more hands-on with you while you're actually out in the field. And Professor Magnolia will probably be in the lab, and they talked about what she's actually doing in the lab along with her assistant Sonia. They're addressing the Dynamax phenomenon. So it's going to be really cool learning with them why the heck this is going on, what Dynamaxing is about, and if my knowledge of kaiju films, specifically Godzilla, in any way ties into this Dynamax problem, we are going to have some issues. Things might go nuclear. This might turn into a take on environmentalism. I'm just saying, hold on to your butts. So, gym leaders. So, not just talking about the new people that we're meeting, but we see that now they're in stadiums. So this thing, it seems as if we've gone from gyms, kind of like dojos, if you will, to goal, like soccer. Or if you're from the other countries that pronounce it more correct, quote unquote, than I do, football. So anyway, I don't know what accent that was, but what I do know is that yes, they are in stadiums, and you kind of need to be when these Dynamaxing Pokemon are thick, with 3 C's, by the way, not just the typical 2. When they're this, actually speaking of thick people, we could be talking about a different type of gym leader, but we're not going to talk about him right now. We are going to talk about the fact that, speaking of gym leaders still, they have at least 1 Dynamax Pokemon per team. So basically, that's their level 20 Miltank. Every team has a level 20 Miltank now. Isn't that great? Is this what we wanted? All right. You told Game Freak you wanted something different. Well, guess what? Now everyone has a level 20 Miltank. Great job, fan base. Good job, everybody. Milo. Anyway, legendaries. So we have 2 legendaries that are currently accounted for. We have Zacian, which is Sword Dog, and Zamazenta, which is Shield Dog. And I think the biggest question we have to ask, looking at these two and seeing how this kind of connects to the greater tapestry of this region, the question is, if they are neutered, do the Sword and Shield still work? Does the region kind of just fall into disarray? What happens if they're neutered? My point is that we cannot let Bob Barker get anywhere near these 2 legendaries, because if not, the entire region will go into chaos. Alright, so as we're getting close to wrapping this up, a few more things that need to be mentioned. So, November 15th, 2019 is the official release date. You actually can pre-order both Sword and Shield currently on Amazon, and weirdly enough, and this is super weird, they have a double pack. Now, why is this weird, right? Nothing weird about having a double pack, especially, you know, obviously Game Freak and Nintendo, everybody knows at this point, whether you're the consumer or you're the developer, you're gonna have the games not have every Pokemon available. You gotta trade if you like, but here's, you know, if you want them all, but here's what's odd, is that looking at the double pack, there isn't anything special to go along with it. There isn't a reduced price of like $5 or $10. There isn't like a special, I don't know, like sticker set even or something like that. As of right now, looking at the listing, it's just buy both games in a combo for $120. Not like it's a steelbook or something. Not like you get like a full color manual or a map of the region or something like that. So personally, while I would want to buy both games, I don't, or at least buy one and then give one to a friend or a family member as a gift or something like that. I don't really see, like, what? Like a bundle. The reason why something is considered a bundle is because you either can't buy it separately anymore, or there's some type of reduced price. So when you get, you know, a bundle, oh, here's a bundle of like 2 movies in one or something. Well, then it's a 2-disc set because one of them is either out of print or maybe it's, again, $5 off, maybe even 10 or something like that. But when you're releasing this game, and again, the pre-order for both coming out the same day, it's not like, last I checked, it's not as if you can get the double pack a week before or something like that. Very odd that there's nothing special other than, but it stands up real nice. It's like, okay, but that's also too long for me to put on a book, depending on your bookshelf, depending on how your shelves are. So I don't really, and you're going to open them anyway. Like, it's not like they said, oh, there's only 1,000 available. Then I can understand where there's some, there's some collectability to that in some way. But no, you can just buy them. So there's going to be millions of quote unquote double packs, and there's going to be millions of normal ones. So, like, if you combine them, maybe had, like, a special Switch case with the 2 games in one, and it was smaller, more compact, okay, makes sense. But looking at the listing, none of that really seems to be the case. So again, just odd, not really sure why I'd even want to get that. Either way, that is the entire breakdown of this Pokemon Direct. Alright guys, so as we're wrapping this up, I have a question for you guys. Did you like this Direct? Was it everything you hoped for? Was it not? Did it hype you? Did it de-hype you? And also, even bigger news that kind of came, it wasn't in this Direct, it was actually in a treehouse a little bit later. Apparently, we're not getting access to the full Pokedex in this game. Do you have a problem with that? Personally, I don't, as it's the first Switch game, brand new Pokemon Switch game, not really tied to any older Pokemon games. So in my opinion, I feel as if it's fine if this one isn't able to do that due to trying to, render these new characters, making them work with the Switch, and all this other stuff that goes into making this game. I understand why it would be overkill, I think, at least initially, to have all of these Pokemon in the game, but I do believe that if there is some type of, it wouldn't be Gun, some type of Sword and Shield sequel, it would be nice if we had access to more Pokemon in the region, or at least being able to trade them into the region. But I think that as the first game on the Switch, I don't have a problem with it. But again, if you do, please, or if you don't, comment down below. Would love to hear what you guys have to say. So, love you all, take care, and tune in next time for another episode of Matt Rants. Alright guys, so see ya.